What's up, y'all? It's your home slice. Yes, I am back. This time I'm doing a video about school. I thought it'd be nice to give you guys some advice on how to get through distance learning. Sorry I'm looking all around the room. I just haven't got used to this whole looking at the camera thing yet. Okay, so I just finished my first day of my last semester of college. That's right, you heard it here first, or maybe second. I don't know, I've been talking about it a lot. But basically, first day of school, down. We did that. But I was supposed to do this video a while ago, and I decided it's now or never, because I know people are starting school or they already started school, and some people have been asking like for advice, and even about stuff that I really can't give them advice on, but I've tried my best based on my experience. So I feel like this is a really great time to give advice to the students, because we are in the weirdest time. That we do my best to explain all the things that I wish someone would have had the experience in, so they could tell me what to do to get through college, especially when we're stuck in our houses the way that we are now. And I'm going to do all of that while doing my makeup. I got my trusty dusty makeup bag here with a bunch of goodies. I'm probably not gonna go all out, but I figured if I'm doing one video that no one ever asked for, I should probably do something else that nobody asked for in the same video. So let's get those two things done at the same time. So I'm gonna be using this video as something to reference back to throughout the semester, so I keep myself on track as well, because it's really important. Oh, look at my shirt. Repping my school, which is not something I do normally. And on the back, need help? Ask me. Perfect for this video. Okay, so I'm gonna start this off by prepping my skin. I've already cleansed it pretty well. While I'm doing this, my foundation, I am going to talk about my first thing on the list that I recommend you to do, which is to set your expectations for your semester or your school, and to make a schedule. I am the queen of collecting and using planners. I love a physical planner to help me get my whole situation set out and made up right. If I don't write it down on my planner, there's a 95% chance I'm going to forget what I'm supposed to do, and I'm usually juggling a lot of things. So just for background, I am in school while also working, while also trying to run my own business. I'm an artist, so when I'm not creating and I'm not trying to keep up with deadlines for my classes, I'm working for someone else, and I have to make sure everything is in order so that I don't forget anything and then miss a deadline. So I recommend you do the same. I know a lot of people like to use the phone calendar to make their scheduling and stuff. It doesn't work for me because I'm notorious for just moving those notifications out the way. I turn all my notifications off on all my apps, so that just seems like another one of those things, which I end up hating and just ignoring at the end. So I recommend you to have something physical and tangible that you can cross off and see that it's gone, as opposed to using your phone, which you're probably going to ignore anyway, as your option to set your schedule. But as far as expectations go, setting your expectations for yourself, be it I want to pass this class and get an A, I want to be on the dean's list, I want to make sure that I have a full grasp on the subject, it's important to do in the beginning. It's the same as making New Year's resolutions and then keeping them, which is important, because if you do that, then you see the changes in the end, and it also helps you to stay on track. If you feel like you're not really getting those things done and accomplished week by week or by a certain date for an assignment that's due, then you'll start to have to realize that you need to reassess what you're doing to make your goals seem more tangible and accessible. Just keep that. We're doing concealer now, and I'm going to do my brows at the same time. I like to multitask while I tell you my second tip, which is to be prepared.
I can't expect greatness if I ain't gonna be great, you understand?
This is a pretty open-ended statement. It kind of explains itself, but I'll go into more detail about what I mean specifically by that. Being prepared is not just having your books and your pencils and your USBs and all that stuff before class. It's literally emailing your professor to let them know, hey, I know our class is a hybrid class, but I don't really feel comfortable going to the school physically. Is it okay if I do everything online? Is there a way I can reach you if I have extra questions outside of class time? Maybe you need a tutor. You know this class you're taking is really hard. Find a tutor before you actually start the class, or wait until you get the syllabus so you can know what you're actually going to tell your tutor you might need help with. These are things you should consider going into this semester, because being prepared in those ways will help you feel more secure and like comfortable with the things that you're going to have to do. This is really hard. I'm trying to do this while looking at the mirror and talking to you guys. Maybe I can do it into the camera. No, that's not gonna work. But yeah, if you do these things ahead of time, it kind of allows for you to have less questions later on, and then you'll feel like you're getting things accomplished even when you're in the middle stages. So yeah, that's what I'd recommend. Done. I have my concealer done, and just in case you were wondering, why doesn't she look different? This is how my normal makeup looks. I'm not trying to do anything extravagant, although I might throw in an eyeshadow in a little bit. We'll see how I feel. We're gonna do some setting on the concealer because, like I said, I have oily skin, and so I like to make sure everything is in place before I do anything else. Which brings me to my third tip: accountability. So if you have an accountability partner and you have your planner, which helps you stay on track, it's you holding yourself accountable and also you holding someone else and them holding you accountable for getting your work done. That's a lot. I've said it a lot of times. I said it in many different ways. But basically, it's just having that buddy, that friend to check in with you every once in a while and say, hey, how's it going? Did you get that assignment done yet? Don't forget it's due on Tuesday. And maybe that's your alarm or your reminders in your phone telling you, hey, don't forget to do that thing. But if you're like me, like I mentioned before, you'll push that aside and you'll totally forget. So it helps to have a real person, a real friend checking in with you, asking if you did the assignment, and maybe even do it together. If you have like a little study group to make sure not only you're doing the assignment, but you're doing it well. Because there's been plenty of times where in my classes we're doing the assignments and then we learn later on we weren't doing it right, or somebody else had a different answer, and then you go, wait, how is yours different than mine? La la la. Long story short, after much deliberation, you realize, oh, we're all wrong. You do it together and eventually you get the assignment done the right way. I'm going to do a little bronzer, which I just got into because originally they didn't really make that in a color that would work for my skin, being a dark skin gal. But anyway, doing that, and for my fourth recommendation, I'd recommend you pick a location in your home or the space that you're learning in that is not Compeers Wire. If I sit in my room while I'm taking a class, there's 100% chance that I am going to get distracted by my surroundings, or I'm going to fall asleep. I made my room a very cozy place. I made my room the place that I go to for solitude and just to get away when I want to watch like YouTube videos, Netflix, drawing, if I want to talk on the phone, take my naps, so on and so on. And I'm sure the same is happening for you. So unless you have a corner in your room where you have a desk where you can dedicate your time and your space for learning in, I would recommend you find a quiet place in your house.
Jesus, what is that?
Sorry about that. I recommend you find a quiet place in your house where you can do your assignments, take your lectures and things, and really focus in on the work that you have to get done. It really helps to limit the distractions, which it's already a thing when you're learning. If you're in school, anything that happens around you, your friends become your distractions. But when you have your home, the place that you made, all the things that you enjoy kind of convenient to one location, it makes it way easier to get distracted. So finding that quiet place, that quiet room, that quiet corner helps a ton with staying focused during class. Alright, I think I'm gonna put some eyeshadow on. I decided last minute. I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm just gonna play around. Just doing a nice transition color, as they call it on the YouTubes. But yeah, my next recommendation is taking breaks and create incentives for yourself. It's kind of like a hand in hand type of thing. I recommend this. I don't know if you're like me, but when I'm reading a long passage, something I like to do is like tell myself, if you read 3 paragraphs, then you can get a snack, or if you finish this book, then you can take a long nap as opposed to a short nap, because I'm gonna get my naps in. Yeah, stuff like that. So create those incentives for yourself, whatever you think makes sense for you. If it's like, if you don't get up early enough for class, then you can't have breakfast until it's done, you know, something that makes sense for you. That might be a little too drastic, but go with what makes sense. And taking breaks is important. We usually don't sit down for as long as we do when we're in the house. We're not looking at screens for as long as we do when we're in the house. So if you take those breaks, 15, 10 minutes, you'll realize like, oh, I needed that. Like, this was really important and valuable for my body, my mind, for me to help stay focused during those classes. Just consider that. I usually on my breaks, I'm like talking to my family. I'm in the house with 2 other people, and I don't get to talk to them for hours at a time, 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours at a time. And so when I get to talk to them, it helps me to remember like, oh, this class is not the only thing that's going on in the world. And also, I get to talk about something that's not related to my grades. So that's always nice. Oh, one more thing. I just remembered. Having time or gaps in your schedule is cool. So if you're lucky enough to have a gap in your schedule, you know you have a day off, or you don't have to work, you don't have to go to school, you don't have any homework to do, use that time to rest. Like, sleep, watch the movies that you wanted to watch, but try not to stay up too late. Stick to your schedule of like when you go to sleep and when you wake up. That way you don't have to worry about it completely shifting your mood the next day when you have to go back to that schedule for class and work. Okay, so eyes are done, skin is done. I think I'm gonna throw some highlight on now, and we'll finish up this look with a little mascara. How about that? Because I'm not going anywhere. I don't even do lashes, so you know, we're gonna end it with those things. But while we're doing that, I'll tell you about the last 2 tips that I have for you to get through distance learning. Second to last is transparency. If you are transparent with yourself and your professors, it'll all work out. We all experienced a ton of things this past year, and it might have been daunting. Maybe you had to call out of work a few times for like a little mental health day, or just to like figure stuff out. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think people actually appreciate it when you tell them straight up, like, hey, I can't make it today because I just wouldn't be a good employee, or I just wouldn't be a good student. I would not be focused. So if you don't mind, I'm gonna head out. I'll see you next class. I did this a few times last semester, and it worked out. I didn't, slack on my work or anything, so I'm pretty sure that's another reason why they were totally fine with me missing those days of class. What the heck? Can't get my hair around. So yeah, I'd recommend, just being fully transparent. If you know you have a doctor's appointment in 2 months, tell your teacher now, hey, I have a doctor's appointment in 2 months. And that way, when the day comes, you can just remind them, hey, just reminding you, I won't be in class next week. If there's anything that I can do ahead of time to get the assignment done and make sure that I'm not falling behind, please let me know. They'll really appreciate it, because it shows that you care about your work and that you are going to be an enthusiastic and good student. You don't want to fall so behind that they are thinking you don't care, and then when it comes time to you actually needing their help, or you decide, hey, I want to do some extra credit, they think you're just trying to make up something to cover the fact that you weren't doing your job as a student. So just get that stuff done ahead of time. Tell them ahead of time. Doesn't hurt. At least the worst thing they can say is, actually, no, you need to be there, and then you don't show up anyway, and that's it. Okay, we're gonna throw on that lash, and I'm gonna tell you my last tip for getting through the semester with ease. Why do we pause when we do our mascara? Can anybody tell me? It's like, I need to concentrate. I need to make sure this goes on right. This is the quickest makeup routine. I did pretty much everything with 2 brushes and my fingers. So yeah, awkward pause. Okay, my last thing is being kind to yourself. I struggle with this throughout the semesters, honestly, because I am an overachiever. I really try hard to get good grades. I try hard to be a good student. I want to make sure my professors know that I care about the amount of work that they put in, and I'm going to show them that I care about the amount of work they put in by doing my job and doing my work. But in doing that, I sometimes forget to take time for myself. Meditation, stretching, cooking, spending time with your family and friends, COVID friendly, of course, and doing your hobbies if you have some, finding those hobbies if you don't have any, is really important, and I think it makes you a better student when you have other outlets. Alright, so I think my makeup is all done. I'm gonna fix my hair and then come back to close this video out. Okay guys, that's it. Here's the finished look. What do you think? It's pretty simple. I'm not a makeup artist by any means. I just threw on some color. But I hope this list helps you. I'm going to do my best to follow this list as well. I might check in a few times this semester, actually, since it's my last one, to let you guys know how it's going and if I came up with any other tips. In the meantime, let me know what you're doing this semester, what you're looking forward to. Is it your last semester? If it is, congratulations, you made it. We're almost there. We're almost done together. Let's do this. And then I'll see you later. Bye. Wait a minute. Y'all was gonna let me leave here without setting my face? Come on now. What kind of friend are you? Now we good.